Father Yahuwah, we thank Thee again for another beautiful day. This is the day that Thou hast made, and we are glad, we rejoice in Thee, Father. We thank Thee again for another Sabbath day Bible study. Help us to come before Thee, that we may be found in Yahushua HaMashiach, according to Thy righteousness and Thy truth, Father. Open our ears and eyes, and minds and hearts, that we may hear Thy voice within these texts that we are about to read and study. Let the Spirit of Yahushua HaMashiach guide us and lead us. Grant us Thy wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, Father. Be with us as we choose to be with Thee. And cover us by the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, and wash us clean by Thy word, that we may be worthy of Thy presence. In Yahushua's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Today is the 8th day of 9th lunation, first weekly Sabbath of this lunation, and we are studying and reading book of Proverbs, chapter 11. Proverbs chapter 11. A false balance is abomination to Yahuwah, but a just weight is his delight.
When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom.
The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them.
4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death.
5. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness.
The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness.
Proverbs chapter 11, verse 7. When a wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish, and the hope of unjust man perisheth.
The righteous is delivered out of trouble, and the wicked cometh in his stead.
An hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered.
When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting.
11. By the blessing of the upright the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked.
He that is void of wisdom despiseth his neighbor, but a man of understanding holdeth his peace.
Proverbs chapter 11, verse 13. A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter.
Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety.
He that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it, and he that hateth suretyship is sore.
A gracious woman retaineth honor, and strong men retain riches.
17. The merciful man doeth good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubleth his own flesh.
The wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that soweth righteousness shall he be a sure reward.
Proverbs chapter 11, verse 19. As righteousness tendeth to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth it to his own death.
They that are of a forward heart are abomination to Yahuwah, but such as are upright in their way are his delight.
Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered.
As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman which is without discretion.
23. The desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath.
There is that scareth, and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty.
Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself.
He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it.
He that diligently seeketh good procureth favor, but he that seeketh mischief, it shall come up unto him.
He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch.
He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart.
The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that winneth soul is wise.
Proverbs chapter 11, verse 31. Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth, much more the wicked and the sinner. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 1, a false balance is abomination to Yahuwah, but a just weight is his delight. Speak the truth or don't say nothing at all. Do not add to lies. What are the lies? Well, anything that comes out of your own heart is a lie, because it is based on limited evidence or very skimpy information. None of us know everything there is to know about any subject. So when we make our decision for ourselves based on what we think is right, that is unjust weight, and it is a false balance. People often will ask you, what do you think? As if that means anything. What do I think? Means absolutely nothing. What they should say is, what is what it is? What is the reality? What is the truth? But since none of us could attain to it, we don't ask each other that question. There is a way to know the truth. There is a way to know righteousness. It is to acknowledge that Yahuwah made heaven and earth, and He is good in His nature, and He leadeth His people, His children, onto the pathway of perfection. When you humble yourself in that truth, you have a hope. You have a chance to give away, to step out of using false balance and unjust weight. But sadly, most people is not gonna ever choose to do that. That's why verse 2 says, when pride cometh, pride is opposite of humility. Another word synonym for pride in our connotation, the way we use English language, pride is synonym with ignorance. When Yahuwah, the Creator, all-knowing being, He knows everything because He created everything. He's above. His knowledge, His wisdom is beyond the entire creation. Otherwise, He couldn't have created it. In His point of view, pride is ignorance of all that knowledge. So all of us are born proud. When pride cometh, then cometh shame. Because you think this is right, but you know later on, by the natural course or passage of time, and when the events fall into right place, when the dust settles, you realize the choice that you made 10 years ago is the exact wrong choice. This is why people get married loving each other, so they say. You look at their wedding photos, their marriage ceremony videos. Oh, they are having a grand old time. Scantly a decade later, they are at each other's throat. If they had a gun and heat up the moment, they'll pull the trigger and kill each other. So, most people do quote-unquote more sensible thing. They divorce. They go separate ways. What was wrong with their choice 10 years ago to get married? Well, they did that. They took that action without knowing everything there is to know. When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly is wisdom. Wisdom, or pursuit of truth and knowledge, is synonym with humility. Please remember this. Practice this often. I don't understand. I don't get it. This is what I think, but I do try to remember at least. My thinking is based on very, very limited knowledge. Hence, how much good can it do? If you still think my thoughts or my thinking, my perspective, my point of view is worth anything, which I don't think it is worth anything, then I can tell you, but I know it's not gonna do much good. Yet, people consider that is way to get ahead. Right to free speech, they say. Well, free speech is worth something if it's based on truth. But in darkened room, bunch of blind people talking about what it is that they see, that's a exercise in futility. But that's exactly what the ways of this world do. Verse 3 continues, the integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. So what is the outcome of this ignorant behavior? Shame and death and destruction. How can you be upright? We don't have an upright bone in ourselves. Why? Because in order to be upright, you have to know what is the right thing to do at every given moment. But how can you know what is the right thing to do unless you know outcome of every conceivable, every possible action that you could take? That is impossible. We don't know what our good intention, quote unquote, our well-intended motivation will bring forth in the future. We have no idea. But people think, oh, yeah, at least I did it with the good intention, as if that's going to count for something. No, it doesn't. You have to stand and make the right choice. But in order to make right choice underlies, it requires, the prerequisite for right choice is that you know what's going to happen. You have to be the master of flow of time itself. And no creature can ever do that. So we go with the probability based on our past experience. But that's not righteousness. That's not upright. That could be considered well-intended, right? Kindness. It might even say personal experience, or people use the term interchangeably with wisdom. Now, not to be confused with the wisdom of Yahuwah, who is an all-knowing being. When you make one mistake, it only takes one mistake after countless correct steps. One mistake could destroy everything. This is why Bible is keep telling us. Look at verse 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath. When the scorecard is filled out, when the accounting must be settled, when you draw your last breath, okay? The day of wrath. Riches profit not. All the things that you quote unquote done right doesn't mean anything if there is found one mistake. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. Again, that's not our righteousness. Our individual, physical, human righteousness, man's righteousness means absolutely nothing because it is based on tainted, limited information. So let's remember what this righteousness is. Let's continue to look for what is the definition of righteousness. Verse 5. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way. Wait a minute. We are not perfect. None of us are perfect. Because perfection, by definition, requires you to do everything right. It is impossible for anyone to do right. All we could strive for is to have right motivation. Even that is very, very difficult. In order to have a right or perfection in everything that we do, we have to be beyond passage of time. Do you understand? Yahuwah's way is perfect because he's not limited within the time itself. And this brings a lot of conflict with the people. Because what is right eternally, what is right eventually, can often look like harsh thing to do. How can you treat your children like that? How can you pick up a stick and correct them? They are only 2-3 years old. That doesn't seem like the right thing to do. But Yahuwah tells us, if you love your children, if you want them to stay alive, you have to pick up rod of correction and correct them at B time. What is a B time? As early as possible. By the time they become going into puberty, it's too late. And you do not need to correct them that much when they are 2, 3, 4 years old. Just little correction is all it takes. Because they haven't veered that much off from Yahuwah's way yet. It's easy to fix the problem when you catch it early enough. You have no idea how many parents of teenagers get yelled at by their own children. High school, junior high school, maybe college. I don't know. Maybe college is a little too late. Junior high school, sometimes later grades of elementary school. When the children gets angry and upset, they say to their parents' face, F mom, F dad, F you. That's what they say. And these parents don't know how to deal with that. I'm telling you this because that's how the shame and destruction and death comes. When you depend your life on false balance and unjust weight, which is a euphemism, doing your own thing, what you think is best, then these things are given. Instead of honoring parents, they're going to ridicule and mock their own parents. And that's what Esau did. And when Rebekah and Isaac, Esau's mother and father, was grieved because Esau chose all these pagans, Hittites, for his wives, plural, more than one. What does Esau do? He doesn't ask Father Isaac or Mother Rebekah, what should I do? That will be a picture of wisdom. That will be the picture of humility, because that will be what? Illustration of asking Yahuwah, the ultimate Father, for his wisdom and knowledge, right? Esau doesn't do anything like that. What does he do? He goes to his uncle, half uncle, if you will, right? Step uncle, right? Same father, same grandfather, Abraham, but different grandmother. Esau's father was born of grandfather Abraham and grandmother Sarah. But his step uncle or half uncle, I don't know what the term will be, Ishmael, was born out of grandfather Abraham, but grandmother's servant, slave girl Hagar. Ishmael. He goes to Ishmael and says, Uncle, oh, my favorite nephew, come on here. I got something to ask you. What is it? Well, my mom and dad, they are not very happy about me sacking with these Hittite ladies. What do you think? Oh, that's no problem. I'll give you a couple of my daughters. That's what Esau does. Shame. Death and destruction. Jacob does no such thing. Jacob is sent by his father Isaac. Of course, it was combined wisdom and effort of Father Isaac and Mother Rebekah. But Isaac pronounces it. He speaks to his son. Go to your uncle Laban in Haran, and there get your wives. Jacob knows nothing about Haran. He has no idea who he's going to meet. But he goes because he obeys his father's commandment. And he trusts Yahuwah Elohim's guidance and providence. At Haran, he meets his future wife, Rekah, right? English pronunciation, Rachel. And he instantly falls in love with her. Later on, he finds out that is his cousin, uncle's daughter, Laban's daughter. So he makes a deal with the uncle. Since I don't have a dowry to pay for my bride, I'm going to pay for Rachel with the 7 years of hard work. And Laban says, oh, it's good that I give my daughter to you instead of stranger. So you know the story later on. So Rachel and Leah later on becomes Jacob's wives. Jacob never intended to have more than one wife. But Yahuwah had different idea. So eventually he ends up with the 4 wives. And out of those 4 wives, 12 sons were given and 1 daughter. The righteousness of perfect requires all these things. Jacob had no idea he was going to meet Rachel, Leah, and have 12 sons. He had no idea. But Yahuwah did. Yahuwah knew who was going to be given unto. This is righteousness of the perfect. You are either being led by righteousness of perfect, or you are led by the wickedness. The righteousness of the perfect, verse 5, shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. Wickedness is self-generating. It comes from within. You don't have to work very hard to look for one. Just look at yourself in the mirror. Whatever you think is the best. As long as it is independent of Yahuwah the Creator, that is the definition of wickedness. Verse 6, the righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. Again, same thing. Self-generation. Verse 7, when a wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish, and the hope of unjust man perisheth. His life is over. There is no next generation. There is no threefold cord. There is no Abrahamic covenant. Verse 8, the righteous is delivered out of trouble, and the wicked cometh in his stead. Your physical body's demise out of this world, as your spirit leaves your body, to be given brand new body when Yahushua returns, is another fulfillment of this passage. The righteous is delivered out of trouble. Yet the wicked cometh in his stead. My body's going to die on this earth. And it is the right thing. That's the way it ought to be. Because I was born. This body was born into this world. Into earth. So it has to go out of the earth. From dust it came from, so thus shall it return back. And this is also true from interpersonal relationship. If you depend on Yahuwah's guidance, the righteousness of the perfect, and you put your trust in His saying, and you live according to what He tells you to do, Yahuwah is going to pluck you out. And since this world will not support vacuum, your position is going to automatically get filled by somebody else. And that person's going to be destroyed instead of you. And people call that being successful, oftentimes. Not necessarily all the time, but oftentimes they call that success. Being discovered, becoming popular, becoming famous, becoming influential. They do not realize that they are setting themselves up for perishment. They are being destroyed. But because their understanding or perception of their own information is so limited, they think they are having pleasure while they are being taken to the slaughterhouse. Again, you can never be saved unwillingly. If you don't see the need for personal deliverance from Yahuwah the Creator, then that's the end of the road for you. I don't really have much more to say. And Bible certainly doesn't say anymore either. Verse 8, the righteous is delivered out of trouble, and the wicked cometh in his stead. And let's continue on with the verse 9. An hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. Again, what is knowledge? Not the earthly knowledge, not the physical knowledge of humanity, but knowledge of the Creator. Verse 10, when it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting. There is a shouting in the heaven. And it is a shouting of a cry and destruction, sound of warfare in this earth. People make a big deal out of every little thing, because they think that's how they're supposed to make their lives better. Verse 11 continues, by the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted. The city, not any city, the city. But it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. There is only one city that we belong to, if you are a child of Yahuwah. Yahuwah's city. Also known as New Jerusalem, which is not here yet. It's not physically here. Verse 12, he that is void of wisdom despiseth his neighbor, but a man of understanding holdeth his peace. Oh boy, it took me so long to learn this lesson, holding my peace. Verse 13, a talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of faithful spirit concealeth the matter, not because he's trying to exclude the truth and righteousness and judgment and justice from people of this world, but because they are incapable. When I'm trying to explain the Bible and you doze up, I'm sorry. You doze up. Please do not try to teach mannerism of man and woman to Tilly the cat. She's not gonna get it. You don't go talk to the kindergartners the intricacy of differential equation. They haven't even learned how to add and subtract. It's not bigotry. It's not hatred. It has nothing to do with that. Please do not go talk to the smokers, the dangers of smoking. Don't do that. All they'll do is spite you and hate you. Why would you do that? But Dad, does that mean we should encourage these things? They're wrong. He shouldn't smoke. You shouldn't encourage. Then what am I supposed to do? Leave them alone. Let them be. But they are smoking in front of my face. You got plenty of the space. Get out. Of course, they shouldn't be smoking in your room, barging into your room. You kick them out. But if they're smoking in the sidewalk, leave them alone. Again, man of understanding holdeth his peace. Took me 10 plus years to learn this. I tried to wake you guys up, make you pay attention. No more. You want to sleep? Go ahead. I stopped correcting you with the rod of correction long time ago. Verse 13, a talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Talebearer, speaking so-called secret, is speaking worthless secrets. When was the last time you've ever heard gossiping stories turns out to be worth anything? Trying to get some kind of nuggets of knowledge and wisdom from somebody. Shh, have you heard this before? Shh. Gossiping and backstabbing. That's like trying to get your grocery shopping done at dumpster. Huh? Oh, you might once in a while pick something that is sort of edible. But you can't feed your family from stuff that you got out of a dumpster regularly, reliably. Unless you're a rat, right? If you happen to be a rat or some kind of rodent, sure, yeah. Anything that is remotely edible should count as your diet supplement, supply. No, don't be a talebearer. Look them right in the eye. Give them opportunity. Do you really want to make your life better the way you really wish you could be? The way that Yahuwah, the Creator, intended you to live? Yes or no? And if the person says, nah, I don't want to hear anything religious, thank you. Thank you for making that statement. I don't need to waste my time with the likes of you. Please don't say this to that person, okay? Just think in your mind. Move on. Don't be offended. Most people don't want to hear. That's why Yahushua kept on saying, let those who have a hearing ear to hear, let him hear. It was not a message to general public because he knew general public would not accept his message. Likes of Esau. They don't know how to do anything right. The very first thing Esau should have done is say to his father and mother, I'm sorry I screwed up so far. What do you suggest I do? Please help me. He does no such thing. Verse 14 continues, where no counsel is, the people fail, or people fall. But in the multitude of counselors there is safety. People get this thing all wrong all the time. They think they should counsel each other. Other people counseling people. No. Verse 14 does not say that at all. Where no counsel is, the entire people fall. Think of a doomed ship that is ready to capsize and go down. Can anybody or anything within that ship save any of the people? Think carefully. If you are drowning, can you save yourself by pulling your own bootstrap? The people here is everybody, every one of us. The counsel here is not the counsel of each other. The counsel has to be outside of whatever definition of this people is. Outside of humanity. Somebody who is above and beyond all of us and every one of us. Where no counsel is, the people fall. The counsel that qualifies for verse 14 of Proverbs 11 is none other than Creator Yahuwah himself. Anything short of that counsel is still the people. It's within that group. But in the multitude of counselors, Yahuwah's message coming in, there is safety. And the way Yahuwah instigated and instituted multiple of counselor is threefold cord, zipper, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Fathers teaching their children. There's a safety, but there is no guarantee. No guarantee. You're not robots. You are not under any obligation to choose being forcibly choosing Yahuwah's way. Read it again. Verse 14 tells you plainly, where no counsel is, the people fall. It's not if. It's not some fall. The entire people fall. Everybody falls. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Safety is protection, not assurance, not the guarantee. With the door, there is a safety. Do you understand? Because it could keep the strangers outside of the house. But there is no guarantee that we're going to be protected here with the door. Why? Because you could open the door and walk out. Threefold cord is not a prison. But without the threefold cord, there is no safety. When you drop down, there is no safety net and you're going to get crushed. That's why verse 15 is not they that is a surety for a stranger, it's he. Verse 15, he that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it. You're going to pay for it. And he that hateth suretyship is sure. Each person is responsible for his own weight. You're supposed to pull your own weight. It's not a group thing. You cannot ride on someone else's coattail. Because the multitude of counselors is there for your safety only. It does not owe you living. Verse 16, a gracious woman retaineth honor, and strong man retain riches. Strength here has nothing to do with the physical or violence. The graciousness and strength of man, graciousness of woman and strength of man has everything to do is standing for truth, courage, ability to say no thank you. I'm not going to participate in your rude remarks and these carnal jokes, backbitings, all these cruelties, crass talks. I'm not going to be participating in it. Sorry, you won't be seeing me no more. That courage. Verse 17, the merciful man doeth good to his own soul, but he that is a cruel troubleth his own flesh. You follow your own ways, you're going to pay for it out of your body. Everybody goes through this reminder. It's just that most people, it falls on their deaf ear. They can't see it. They can't hear it. When their bodies are crumbling down, their backs bending, their teeth are falling, their eyes getting dim, they don't realize what's going on. Because they think, hey, it happens to everybody. Sure, it does happen to everybody, but why is a better question to ask. Where did it come from? Verse 18, the wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that soweth righteousness shall be a sure reward. How can you sow righteousness if you operate out of your own wickedness? That's impossible. The only way to sow righteousness is to follow Yahuwah's way, His commandment, His delight, His pleasure in your life. Verse 19, as righteousness tendeth to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth to his own death. The end result, when you continue on your own desire, is inevitably, inexorably, without doubt, 100% guaranteed destruction, death. There is nothing else. Most people don't think so. They say, no, I could still be happy living my own way. That's why they pursue it. And again, if you're one of those person, you don't have to watch this video. You never have to come back here. It's no skin on my nose that you say that I'm going to pursue death because you think Bible is wrong. You haven't even tested it. You haven't proved it. You haven't verified. None of those efforts. Yet you just quote-unquote know that Bible is wrong. Be my guest. Billions have come before you, and I don't know how many more millions gonna come after you. But you're gonna see soon enough. I'll give maybe couple hours in Yahuwah's time. About 83 years. More accurately, 83 years and couple months. No, about 6 months. 1,000 years being one day. Yeah, a couple hours will be about 80 plus years. Most generations last about 1 hour. 41 years and 9 months. You are here just for a couple of hours. What are you? What are you? You are nothing more than a fog that happens in the morning. And by the time sun comes up, the fog dissipates. Couple hours. Gone. In the morning, it looks like really hazy and foggy. It looks like almost like rainy weather. No. By the time sun comes up to certain height, all the fog burns up and disappears. That's our individual existence in this earth. And you think that's worth something? Go for it. I rather stick with what Yahuwah tells me. As righteousness tended to life, because I've proven for last 16 years that Yahuwah's way is to life. There is no buts, ifs, ands about it. Yahuwah is life. Verse 20, they that are of a froward heart are abomination to Yahuwah. And it works both ways. They think Yahuwah is abomination. Or they go as far as calling God, whatever God you have. But they never admit that whatever God that they are calling for has made heaven and earth and everything therein. They don't go that far. It's just a religious construct. It's just a religious concept or idea. Nothing more than just another twisted version of mythology. That's God for you. More power to you. They that are froward, of a froward heart, abomination to Yahuwah. Yes. And they are abomination in Yahuwah's sight too. But such as are upright in their way are Yahuwah's delight. Again, how can a man ever be upright? None of us can be upright on our own accord. We don't have an uprightness born in our body. Not a single cell. Because every one of us automatically pursue what is the best interest in our point of view for us. We serve ourselves. Verse 21, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Who's going to be doing the punishing of the wicked? You might say, oh, God's going to punish you. No, He doesn't. Most of the wicked are not punished by God. Some do, but that's a very few, small percentage of it. Most of the wicked are punished by none other than their own wickedness. Several weeks ago, the high-class mountain climbers from Korea, I think it was 5 people or 7 people, they were climbing Mount near Everest. Not necessarily the peak Everest, but those really high peaks, 8,000 meters and above. And I think 5 people or 7 people, they got caught with the sudden snow avalanche. And they died. Later on, they were able to find their dead bodies, which is lucky. Most of the time, in big snow avalanche, you can't even find the remains. But they did find those 5 people or 7 people. Most of them are younger than me, in their mid-40s. One of the guy was very well known in those mountain climbing community. He was one of the handful of people who have climbed over 8,000 meters, 20,000 feet or better, without using oxygen tank. And he was a Korean. Very well known, world-class mountain climber. What killed him? Oh, God killed him. No, he did not. Yahuwah did not kill him. What killed him? His choice. He killed him. Though hand in hand, join in hand, verse 21, the wicked shall not be unpunished. They're going to be punishing themselves. But the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Verse 22 continues, as a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman which is outside or without discretion. This is why I stopped. Again, it took me a long time to learn the lesson, but this is why I stopped trying to talk to people against their will. Yahuwah never went over my will when he came and talked to me. I wanted to more. I wanted to hear more. So I asked for more. So far, people that I have spoken to, they don't either, one, they don't want to hear it, or number 2, sounds interesting, but I already am a Christian, so I go to my church. Okay, fine. No more trying to put jewel of gold in swine's snout. Every person, their work is going to be judged and properly rewarded according to how it stands, on its own merit. Verse 23, the desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. Good is what Yahuwah is. Yahuwah is good, nothing else. Goodness requires righteousness, truth, perfection, and life. Nothing or nobody else has that characteristics. None of us are good. And this is why I hated hearing those things. How are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm good. No, you're not. You're just trying to pervert the English language. You're feeling good. You think you are good, but you are never good. None of us are good. Again, I stopped trying to convince these people of the difference. Let them say it, but I choose not to participate in it. They might say, I'm good. No. When they ask me back, and you, I be sure to tell them, I am fine. I'm very well. I thank you for asking me. No, I'm not going to say I'm good and chiming in. Verse 24, there is that scattereth, yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty. I gotta let you go. Let you guys make your own choice as far as Abrahamic covenant is concerned. I'm not gonna withhold you. I told you many times. Uncle John, long time ago, he's saying, oh, your children are going to leave you when they get old enough. They might. I won't force them to stay with me. No more so than I'm going to force anybody else to hear Yahuwah's word against their will. But I hope they choose the right thing based on their years of research, finding out, verifying, testing out Yahuwah's words. Verse 25, the liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. That's a picture of threefolded cord. You honor your parents, and you teach your children together with your parents. Grandfather and father teaching together. That process gonna reward you, because what you have promoted is gonna come back to you. He that watereth shall be watered also himself. You promote life. You promote truth. You promote righteousness. And life, truth, and righteousness gonna be given unto you. And that's what I'm trying to encourage you guys to participate in. And the part of the requirement of promoting life, truth, and righteousness is to leave people alone when they choose against life. They rather choose death, okay? Against truth, they rather choose wickedness and lies. And against righteousness, they rather choose foolishness and pride. Leave them alone. Verse 26, he that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. Material possession is not the pursuit. It's not the goal of our existence. Do not try to be poor much. Do not try to be rich much. Everything in moderation according to Yahuwah's pleasure, His delight. Verse 27, he that diligently seeketh good procureth favor. What is good? Yahuwah's character is good. He's the only one who's good. So he that diligently seeketh Yahuwah procureth Yahuwah's favor, of course. But he that seeketh mischief, it shall come unto him. Remember, that mountain climber, those 5 people or 7 people, I couldn't even last 800-meter hike, okay? They were climbing 10 times higher. They were professional, they were highly skilled and trained professional athletes. But they died on the mountainside because that day, the side of the mountain, the snow was set in such a way, it gave it away. And I'm still here, but those highly elite athletes, 5 of them, 7 of them, I'm sorry I forgot, they got buried alive and they turned into dead corpse. It's not the difference in man's skill. It's not the difference in man's effort. None of those things really matters when it comes to the day of wrath. When the tire really meets the pavement, our efforts are futile. When Titanic went down, do you think it would have made a difference whether you're a good swimmer or not? Whether you survive or not? I see this all the time. Highly trained athletes. These people who worship their body, spend hours and hours in each and every day, sculpting their muscle, right? Doing yogas and Pilates. You know, they are a model of fitness. Only to drop dead because their heart gave out. You don't think things like that happen? Oh, they're not going to promote it because it's bad for the health business. It's bad for promoting yoga industry. They don't want to say things like that in open public, but they are out there. When the time comes, Time and chance happen to all. When it's time for you to go, you might not be chain smoker. I haven't even smoked, not a single puff. I'm not a drinker, I'm not a smoker, I'm not anything, yet I come down with the dreadful disease like cancer. A cousin of mine, actually my second cousin, she's a daughter of my mom's cousin. Okay? So second cousin. Her husband just dropped dead. Literally. He felt kind of tired, He hasn't seen doctor for a long time, maybe a couple years. He goes in for check, and he's like already beyond terminal cancer. From the diagnosis to death, less than 1 week. Dropped dead. Was my age. Sure, he smoked, and he was a drinker too. A 50-year-old man dropping dead? Well, yeah, it happens. Bethesda's grandfather had 2 older brothers. I only know of oldest brother, my uncle in Korea. So, he's 5 years older than my father. Thank Yahuwah, he's still healthy, he's still alive. But one in between, one who's 3 years older than my father. I don't remember him. That uncle, I don't remember because he literally dropped dead overnight. He was early 40s. Was he even 40s? I was like 3 or 4 years old, so I don't remember that uncle. He died after I was born. Yeah, he was, wait a minute, if I was 3, 4, my father would have been 37. Yeah, he would have been like early 40, like 40, 41. No previous symptom. He was healthy as a horse. Very energetic man. Had 2 sons and 2 daughters. Married very well. Wealthy family. A woman coming from wealthy family. And he was running a very successful business. But unlike my father and my uncle in Korea, he was not really godly person. He would rather enjoy worldly success. He was a drinker, a smoker, and he will be a business person, a people person like Esau. Very popular, outgoing. He goes to sleep, never wakes up next morning. His wife finds him cold, stiff, dead. His heart gave out. That's what we presume. We really don't know. And soon after that, one of the son dies. The youngest boy. Mom, my aunt, was bringing some hot soup from kitchen. And the baby was lying in the passageway. You know how Korean house, the kitchen is connected, the old style Korean house. And my, I think she's 1 year older than me. My other cousin, Hetty, she was toddler. I think this happened after her husband dies. Yeah, it must have been. It's cold winter day. She was bringing hot food. She accidentally drops that hot food right over top of the baby, infant baby. He literally cooks alive and dies. And my cousin, Hetty, I think she's 1 year older than me. Yeah, Hetty, Nuna. I'm not so sure. Yeah, she's older. Wait a minute, is she younger than me?
Younger.
Yeah, she's younger. She's 1 year younger than me, right?
I don't know how
Yeah.
young. But
Anyway, she's my cousin. She has burn all through her legs. Even today, she doesn't wear any shorts. No short skirts. So what happened to my uncle's family? He's dead. One of his son is dead. Is that the end of it? No. The remaining son, my cousin Chersu, he's 3 years older than me. He failed marriage. He married very late. But he ended up divorced. No children. So he's 53 years old, single man. He that diligently seeketh good procureth favor, but he that seeketh mischief, it shall come unto him. Let me ask you this. How much would have been worth it if my uncle, the dead one uncle, was billionaire? Would you exchange your father with $1 billion? Would you sacrifice your young brother, infant baby, cooked alive, okay? What will compensate for that? Anything? That's what Bible is teaching here. You think that, having a little bit more money would be nice. Living in a bigger house would be nice. Yes, because you're assuming everything else will remain the same. How many more mountain climb those 5 men or 7 men dead in avalanche a few months ago? Do you think it would have been worth it for their lives? How many more? You think if they had a chance to climb all the mountaintops in the world before they died like that, you think they would have said, okay, I'll take that over, dying in the avalanche? What do you think? If you're dead, nothing else matters. If you have an equation and you put death on one side, death and destruction, there's nothing on this side that you could make an equilibrium. It'll always go down to this side. It'll be too much cost. Not only your own death, but your subsequent generations' demise. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. Flourishing has nothing to do with how much riches you have. We're talking life itself first, foremost. When you are alive, then we could talk about being wealthy as well. So, needless to say, I never met my baby cousin. So in Kim family, my generation, there should have been 5 boys. One didn't make it. I would have never found out what my cousin, that baby who burned to death, would have turned out like. Because he was dead as an infant baby. Out of the remaining 4 boys, Cheolsu, he's the oldest, Myungsu, Taesu, and Insu, myself, Christian Kim, is the youngest. 4 boys in Kim family. The oldest, Cheolsu, is the one that I told you about, 53 years old. He's the oldest male. Cheolsu and Myungsu, they are same age, but Cheolsu has an earlier birthday, so he's a little older. He's single. Myungsu got married. He's still married. Okay? He's still with his family. 1 boy, no daughter. Taesu, married. 1 boy, no daughter. My grandfather had 6 children. Alright? 4 boys. Yeah, 4 boys. 5 children, I'm sorry. 5 remaining children, grown up. 4 boys and 1 daughter. But in our generation, in my generation, more accurately, your generation, it's shrinking. Instead of flourishing, it's dwindling. I have more children than all of my combined cousins, the male cousins combined. Myungsu and Taesu combined, they have 2 sons. I already have 2 of you. And I got 2 more daughters to speak to. Yahuwah promised, the righteous shall flourish as a branch. People think that being wealthy is all that. No, sorry, that's an illusion. Wealth means absolutely nothing when you drop dead. Lately, I've been experiencing this more and more because part of the reason because is I'm getting older. And people that I know personally are literally dropping dead like flies. One of the gifts that Yahuwah gave me is I have a very easy time talking to older generation. I befriend older people very easily. I guess I could befriend young people easily too. So I have a lot of acquaintances who are my parents' age. The recent passing of Michael Russell was especially hard because he again went away so suddenly. Last time I talked was this summer. I had many conversations with him. I liked the man. He had a very deep voice. He asked me to pray for his daughter, Christine, because she's a struggling cancer survivor. Only one daughter. Between Michael Russell, the oldest boy, and Joe Russell, our neighbor, and his younger brother, Jerry Russell, there's only one daughter. They got no sons. Jerry never got married. Joe doesn't have any children of his own. Michael is the only one who has a child, one daughter, Christine. So last time I was talking to him, we are all into cars. He was showing me, here. And he was bragging. And I saw it, I instantly recognized what it is. Oh, you put a 2-car post like a professional garage in your, in your repair shop in your garage. Yeah. So I don't have to crawl under the car anymore to fix it. Good for you. Wow. I wish you lived nearby. He moved to Delaware. He was living near Baltimore. I helped him move. And he sold his house and moved to Delaware a few years ago. But since he grew up Central City, he comes here to see his brother Joe quite often. And they will talk on the phone every single day. They were only 2 years apart. Best friends. 2 years apart. So that's the last time I saw. And then, a couple weeks ago, I hear, Joe telling me, Mike passed away. What? Yeah, he went really fast. He got checked into hospital, and a couple days later, he was gone. Well, the official reason for death was pneumonia. But he was losing so much weight. I remember last time I spoke with him, he was already like skeleton thin. So who's going to use that brand new lift? He has a 10,000 square foot garage here in Johnstown too. What good is all these things? Verse 29 continues, He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart. Let's not be foolish. Foolishness is pride. Foolishness is thinking that you know how things are going to pan out. You don't. None of us know how things are going to pan out. None of us. We have no idea. You could have your own intention and idea, I hope it's going to be like this. But you don't know. If those 5 men knew that avalanche is going to come down at them, do you think they would have gone up to that mountain climbing at that day? What do you think? Huh? If my uncle knew that fateful night, his heart's gonna stop. maybe he would have done something differently. What do you think? I remember going through that passage, that age group, about early 40s, when you guys were not even 10 years old. Well, maybe, 10 years ago. You were 11, 9, 7, and 5, right? Can you imagine what it would be like if daddy is taken away? Without any warning, without any disease, just overnight he's gone. You have no idea. You can't imagine something like that. I mean, you could, but it wouldn't mean anything close to reality. But my 3 cousins and their mother, my aunt, had to live through that. Even to this day. The fruit of the righteous, verse 30. This is a conclusion. Listen very carefully. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life. Live on. Life is a foremost thing. I don't care what anybody else says. If you're dead, it doesn't matter. Choose life. Well, everybody choose life. No, not the life that people think. The true life. Yahuwah's character. Righteousness, truth, knowledge, perfection, that life. So you don't end up underneath the avalanche coming down on you. You don't end up some kind of sudden destruction. And there are many different kinds of sudden destruction. Michael Russell was 72 years old. He was not a young man. But do you really think he was ready to die? Think about it. Do you think he would have bought that professional garage, professional mechanics lift if you knew that he was going to be dead in 3 months? What do you think? What for? If he knew he was going to drop dead in 3 months, it's not like he has a son or anybody who could use that lift. It will be a hindrance when he has to sell. When Mrs. Russell, Mike's wife, has to sell the house, it will be a hindrance. It is not going to be an asset. Because most people don't want two-pole lift, professional lift in their garage. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that winneth soul is wise. Souls, plural, souls. He that winneth souls is wise. Which souls? Yours and your children. That's the foremost. Save you and your household. But you cannot have children saved if you never have children in the first place. Ways of this world hates people getting children. It works against you. Why do you need children? You got all these social welfare systems to take care of you when you get old. You don't need to hassle with raising half dozen children when you are young. Go out and have fun instead. Spend your time doing things you like, so they say. Because parenthood is a lot of sacrifice, which you're going to find out. Exact opposite of what Yahuwah teaches. Yahuwah says, as the quiver full of arrow, so are the children to godly people, godly men and women, young. There's a reason why Abrahamic covenant, the threefold accord, was not completed until the generation of Yaakov. Abraham was a single man. Isaac was a single son. Yaakov was a single son. Yes, he had a brother Esau, but that doesn't count. But when Yaakov's life was coming to fruition, he had 12 children, 70 people going into Egypt. Soars. He that winneth soars is wise. You see anybody who claims to be godly people, yet they refuse to have children, or maybe one. Be very careful. Watch where their allegiance lies, where their focus and concentration of effort lies in. Things of Yahuwah or things of this world. Listen very carefully. I still remember my cousin telling me, the other cousin, Keri Nuna, when I had my third child, which was Joshua, my firstborn boy. He was shocked. She was shocked that we are going for more than 4 people in family. Because everything in this world is made for 4 people family. Mom and dad and 2 children. The moment that you have a third child, it becomes a hassle, struggle. That's why they only have two children, 2 daughters, no sons. So exact same number of people that she has and my 3 male actually, cousins have, we have in this family. Heri and Miri Nuna. Miri Nuna has 1 more son. I don't know Heri how many children she has.
She has 3 children.
3 children. Okay, so that she's doing better. Much better. Hallelujah.
Last time I had 3 children.
You cannot win souls if you don't have souls to win. Conclusion 31. Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth, much more the wicked and the sinner. Each person, each family, each household is going to get what they truly deserve. Not what they think that they're going to deserve. Not what people say that you're going to get. It has no relevance whatsoever. It is a truth and reality that counts, not person's interpretation or opinion of it. So how can you take what I'm trying to tell you at face value? Don't do it. Because I could be totally wrong too. Read for yourself and ask in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Revelation, discernment. Think these things through. Your life is a lot more than just getting a job, getting an education, buying a house, and making a living. It's far, far more valuable than that. And it's not even pursuing your desires and dreams, climbing the highest mountain, crossing the deepest sea. It's not like that. The highest honor that we could be given, and we are given with that honor, highest responsibility, highest merit, highest glory that we could ever receive is to do what the Creator intended us to do. To participate in His will. That's it. There is no greater joy or honor, no greater glory or majesty than that. Nothing. And doing Yahuwah's will requires you to live with a large number of people around you. We are never meant to be alone. So marriage is a good thing, absolutely. Multi-generational living is a must if you want safety. There are still people who drive around with no seatbelts on. And they look at me funny. When I get into their car, and every time I get into a car, I clip, right? Even if I'm going down the street. I don't care if I'm going down just 100 yards. I'm going to click it. Because you might be a great driver. But who's to say some drunkard comes out of nowhere and smashes into our vehicle? I want to take every safety measurement that I can. Why not? I understand, even with the buckling, doing all the right things, you could still get involved in a car accident that could kill you. Sure, that's a possibility. This is why Bible says safety, not assurance or guarantee. Threefold cord is a safety mechanism, and I'm going to take it. I hope you guys join in too. And bear as many children as Yahuwah allows you to have. Don't be smart. Don't be wise in your own conceit. How can you have more than 2 children? You're not going to be able to go vacationing in airplanes. I'm not interested in going to vacationing in airplane. And Yahuwah willing, if the whole family, 70 of us, has to go someplace else, He's going to provide means to get there. We'll rent the whole jet line all by ourselves if it's what's required. While you guys are busy, while the people of this world are busy being pat down with all these security measurements, we're going to be flying our own airplane. Do not limit yourself with the things of this world. You have no idea what Yahuwah has things in store for you. But if you still think your idea is better than all-knowing, all-capable, omniscient, omnipotent Creator who made you, be my guest. And He will tell you the same thing. Go knock yourself up. And watch what happens to your children and your grandchildren if you live long enough to see it. I've done enough of testing, verifying. This is why under Yahuwah's graciousness, we are able to uproot ourselves and replant. Yes, it's been struggling. It's been struggle for the last 10 years. Joshua and Danny, they don't even have their own bed. Every day they have to make it and break it. Righteousness requires sacrifice. But if you are wise, if you realize what you are working toward, you shouldn't count that as a burden, but as what? Privilege. Privilege. I get to participate. I get to put in my 2 cents in. When Peter was beaten up, along with the other, I think it was James. Peter and James, they got beaten up. They did not count it as, whoa, I didn't do anything wrong. Why are they beating me? No, they counted joy and glad because they were what? They were getting to participate in the suffering of Yahushua HaMashiach in a small degree. So many young children who are growing up, teenagers, are ashamed of their household living conditions. They are ashamed. How come we are so poor? But if you are a godly household, your children should never say something like that. They'll be glad to work right alongside our father and mother, pushing the cart, opening the store, breaking the ground, whatever the requirement it is. And rejoice in family gathering every day, gathering together in the table like this to break the bread together. Word of Yahuwah, as well as physical sustenance, food that we get to eat. And enjoy each other's what? Camaraderie and friendship and fellowship together. How much is it worth to have all of us together sitting at the same table every day? And for that, what are you willing to let go? I'm willing to let go of jet setting vacations. I haven't been to Alaska, and I have no plan to go to Puerto Rico or Venezuela or anywhere, Hawaii or anywhere, if it means what? Sacrificing your presence in my life. I'm not going to do that. Because each one of us are worth far, far more than anything that we could do in this world. Choose life. Choose each other. And train up your children. Let us join together to raise our children in Yahuwah's way, so that they will have safety. They'll have a protection. More people gonna be destroyed, more and more. Every time you hear the news of somebody dying, remind yourself, how would you want your life to be over? What do you want your life? What kind of legacy? What kind of remembrance? Not among the people of this world. I don't care what people remember. It's no more importance to me than worrying about what does those dogs barking on the street think about me. I don't care. My focus is, what does Yahuwah say about your life? Because His remembrance is going to be eternal. Nobody else is going to remember anything about this world. When this world is all folded up and disappear, and new earth, new heaven is given, nobody's going to remember anything about this world. But Yahuwah, He's going to remember. And I'm going to be with Him for eternity. What would He say about what I have done? Well, there's only one of two choices. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in little things. Come and join the joy of thy master. Even though He's my Father, He's also my master. I get to participate in His enterprise. Just like my son Joshua and Daniel is participating with me. Pretty soon you guys going to remember and cherish these moments. Because before you realize, I won't be able to physically do the things that I get to do with you. 1 hour. 1 hour. That's all we get. If we are blessed. I get to share a little bit of my time with you guys before I am physically no longer able to perform. And then I shall go to sleep, and that will be the end of it. Last weekend, Joshua, Mommy, and Daddy, we went to Bethesda and Baltimore, Columbia. I tried to tell Josh, look at Grandpa, my father. That's me in about 30 years. You want to see how you're going to be like? Look at me. In another about 3/4 of an hour, 45 minutes or so, this is going to be me. You. Girls, same thing. Look at Mommy. Columbia Grandma. Physical life is long enough. It's ample enough to do what is right, what is truthful, what is just, what is righteous, what is perfect. But it's not enough to waste away. You don't have any extra time to waste away. Do the things that are wicked. False balance, unjust weight. Whatever feels good, do it. Seeking entertainment, these titillations. Work on things that you wouldn't be ashamed to share with your children. Work on things that you'll be glad to share with your father and your grandfather. Because that's what kingdom of heaven is like. For the eternity, we're going to participate together. We'll all be there together. There's no shadow of turning, no secret. So you better not be doing anything shameful. Learn to be upright. Speak the truth. Stand courageously for what is right. And encourage one another to do the same thing. You know, I often try to tell you, do the best you can. That's what I mean. The best has to be Yahuwah's goodness. Not the best according to ways of this world. The competition driven. Competition derived best. Which always constantly changes, by the way, right? They're always coming up with the better. Quote unquote better. That's new best. A few years ago, we were into playing Go. Now, what's the point of playing Go? Artificial intelligence is better than any human Go player. There's no way human beings could be able to defeat. No more so than there's no way any human being could race against motorcycle or cars, right? You understand? So what is good or best according to ways of this world? Constantly shifting. I don't want you to waste your time on things that's going to be meaningless from eternal perspective. You could use the tools of this world to build something that is eternal. But do not go in the ways of this world, which always gets replaced by something else. That's what I call running with the turkeys. Ask Yahushua for his guidance. He's going to tell you. He's going to show you the best, perfect, righteous, truthful way. And you never have to eat your word. You never have to be ashamed of what you've done in the past. Why wouldn't a person choose to live like that? It is not burdensome to follow what is right, what is truthful, what is honest and perfect. It is a joy. But that, you don't get to do what you want. Oh, there's that. Desiring to do what you choose is the right thing to do is the evidence of destruction. So, am I telling you, is Bible telling you not to do manga, not to do computer? Certainly not. No, no way. That's not it. That's not that level. Use those activities, okay, for Yahuwah's glory. Wait upon Him, and He's going to lead you. King David was an excellent musician. Yahuwah allowed his musical talent, his poetry, to be used as a tool, as a vessel for his kingdom, for the eternity. Did he not? He didn't have to stop playing music. Oh, I can't play music in order to serve Yahuwah. No, that's not it. Put your trust in Yahuwah and his way. And he's going to establish your footstep. And he's going to what? Grant your heart's desire. Please verify these things. Challenge him. Ask Yahushua, Adonai, I need your guidance. What should I do with my time today? I want to give it to you so you can make the best. But I don't know how to do that. Let thy will be done, Father. And see what happens. Let us pray. Father Yahuwah, we thank thee again for another beautiful day. This is the day that thou hast made. And we are glad, we rejoice in thee, Father. Help us to walk in thy name today, according to the leading of thy Son Yahushua's Spirit. Let the Holy Ghost, the Spirit of Yahushua, guide us and lead us. Protect us and keep us in every good path according to thy perfection, thy righteousness and truth, thy mercy and grace, Father. For thy eternal purpose and for thy eternal providence, Father. All thy goodness. Let all thy goodness wash over us and move us. Fill us according to thy beauty, thy holiness, Father. We ask that thy Son Yahushua's blood cover us, and let thy word always wash us, that we may bear righteous steps, righteous effort, clean hands, purity of our own mind, Father, that we bear much righteous fruit for thy kingdom. In Yahushua's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.